Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. A very warm good morning to all. I am Renjitha. Today I am here to take a seminar about science fiction. What is science fiction? Science fiction is a genre of speculative fiction that typically deals with imaginative and futuristic concepts such as advanced science and technology, space exploration, time travel, parallel universes, and extraterrestrial life. H.G. Wells was once referred to as the Shakespeare of science fiction. He is more often called the father of science fiction and regarded, along with Jules Verne, as one of the creators of the genre. It is no exaggeration to call Jules Verne the first science fiction writer. Mary Shelley might have written the first great science fiction novel, but when I found out this story's influence in the genre forevermore, he is a vital point in the history of science fiction. One of the most prolific authors to have ever existed, regardless of genre, Isaac Asimov is universally acknowledged as science fiction's greatest contributor. In fact, he and fellow writers Robert Heinlein and Arthur C. Clarke come to know as the big three of the greatest sci-fi authors. Then, what is the importance of science fiction? Science fiction is important for at least three reasons. Firstly, by considering worlds that are logically possible. Science fiction can be used to explore our place in the universe and consider fundamental philosophical questions about the nature of reality and the mind. Reading science fiction enables us to reflect on the ways people interact with each other, with technology, with our environment. A good science fiction work posits on vision for the future, among countless possibilities, and it built on a foundation of realism. Time travel used to be thought of as just science fiction, but Einstein's general theory of relativity allows for the possibility that we could warp space-time so much that you could go off in a rocket and return before you set out. This is a famous quote of Stephen Hawking. There is another quote about science fiction that is, science fiction is any idea that occurs in the head and doesn't exist yet, but soon will, and will change everything for everybody, and nothing will ever be the same. Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley is widely regarded as the mother of science fiction for her authorship of Frankenstein, first published anonymously in 1880. Science fiction emerged nearly 300 years ago during a time of great advances in science. Since then, authors have tried to make sense of their world by imagining what the future will look like. Sci-fi contains the usual elements of the novel, a specific setting, character development, plot, that's center conflict, complications, climatic events, resolution, then themes and structure. Sci-fi is also a genre of fiction in which the stories often tell about science and technology of the future. It is important to know that sci-fi has a relationship with the principles of science. The stories involve partially true, partially fictitious laws of theories of science. Then, when it's come to the point of science fiction and science fantasy, there's a difference between both of them. In a science fiction story, the world is presented as being scientifically possible, while a science fantasy world contains elements which violate the scientific law of the real world. Nevertheless, the world of science fantasy is logical and often is supplied with science-like explanations of those violations. Famous science fiction writers are Isaac Asimov, Robert A. Heinlein, Arthur C. Clarke, H.G. Wells, Philip K. Dick, Jules Verne, Frank Herbert, Mary Shelley, William Gibson, George Orwell, Douglas Adams, Aldous Huxley, Orson Scott Card, etc. The best and ever famous science fiction books are The Lord of the Rings, J.R. Tolkien, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams, Ender's Game, Orson Scott Card, Dune, Frank Herbert, A Song of Ice and Fire, George R. R. Martin, 1984, George Orwell, Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. Other books are A Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne, 1864, The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, 1898, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, When Worlds Collide by Edwin Ballmer and Phil Boyle, Odd John by Olaf Stapleton, 1984 by George Orwell, Earth Abates by George R. As well as considering the effects of current and developing technologies, science fiction can help address long-term problems such as global warming. It can help with the development of space exploration and prepare us for problems we may not anticipate. Science fiction, whose roots go back to the ancient times, is related to fantasy, horror, and superhero fiction and contains many subgenres. However, its exact definition has long been disputed among authors, critics, and scholars. Science fiction literature, film, television, and other media have become popular and influential over much of the world. Besides providing entertainment, it can also criticize present-day society and is often said to inspire a sense of wonder. Thank you all. Have a nice day.